What's going on, everybody, and welcome into the Browns Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Joey O'Donohue, and we've got to talk about what we saw in the Browns' final preseason game against the Rams. Cleveland got the dub, 19-17. I'm going to give you all my biggest winners and losers for Cleveland in the game. We got to see 4 different quarterbacks play for the Browns, and we're going to talk about the rookies especially, and also Old Joe, the starter. But first, you don't want to miss out on everything Browns. If you want to hear the best rumors, trades, analysis, everything you need to know about Cleveland, subscribe right now. And we're going to do watch parties all season long. Hang out, watch football, talk about the Browns. So make sure you're part of the party. We're over 50,200 at the moment. All right, my first winner from the game is old man Joe Flacco. The 40-year-old went out and balled out. He showed that he frankly, should be the starter of this team for the first few weeks of the season at least. And Kevin Stefanski told us that Joe earned that job. Well, he showed us that in the game today. Look at this. 9 of 10. 90% completion percentage. 71 yards, a touchdown drive. It was a beautiful pass and catch by rookie tight end Harold Fandon Jr. So I absolutely loved what I saw from Flacco. It got me fired up that he was named the starter because I've always said I do think Joe gives us the best chance right now, someone who's been around the league, someone who can still sling it. I mean, 71 yards in not too much game action, that's impressive. And a touchdown drive, as I said. So it's something to be super excited about in Cleveland. He's taken the Browns to the playoffs before. He's won a Super Bowl and a Super Bowl MVP decade ago. Old Joe's still doing it. I'm excited about it. Let's get into my second winner of the day, Adin Huntington. If you've been following Cleveland and their defense closely, you know that Huntington has been a beast both in camp and all of preseason. Well, today, he really balled out and proved it. He had 1.5 sacks, and they came on back-to-back plays on Dresser Wynn. He bursts through the line, gets to the quarterback. He's got great awareness. He's explosive. He's strong. He's maybe, they said, a little light coming out of college. But he's playing a lot stronger and a lot more physical. And I think we can even officially say that he's made the 53-man roster. The report is that Kevin Stefanski says Huntington's preseason has earned him a spot, and I'm super hyped about it. He absolutely deserves it. Cleveland is deep in the defensive room now, especially that defensive line with Myles Garrett, the best defender in the league, Mason Graham, who we also got to see a little bit in this game, and he got through, applied pressure. The national title winning Michigan man. And now Adin Huntington, who's in the mix. So Cleveland's deep at the defensive position, the defensive line position, and they were even able to trade away Briggs to the Jets because they have so much depth there. So Huntington, big winner for the Browns. Get excited about that. I do want to know, before I get into my last winner, who do you in the comments think the biggest winner from the Browns preseason game is? Let me know. Of all the preseason, who's the biggest winner for Cleveland? Comment down below. I'll go in, check out your answers. We could see if we agree or disagree. Finally, Gage Larvadain, a winner once again for me. Listen, I really like the camp that Larvadain's put together. A UDFA wanting an opportunity in a room of wide receivers that's somewhat crowded. Well, he went out, scored another touchdown today, got wide open. Gabriel found him. And he's able to make rookie receivers feel comfortable. He also had a touchdown in Shedeur's first preseason start against the Panthers on an end around. He's a versatile receiver. He's a little bit smaller, but he's fast. He works hard. He's utilized in the return game as well. I think he's earning a spot for himself in Cleveland. And like I said, there's a lot of receivers right now trying to battle. Not only is it Judy and Tillman and Thrash, but also Larvadain fighting with Caden Davis, who had a decent preseason. DeAndre Carter. Caden McDonald, who got hurt today. We'll let you know what that is. But there's a lot of receivers battling in that room. And Larvadain, I think, is earning himself a spot, which is impressive. Okay, but with winners always come losers, and we have to do this. It pains me. But Shedeur Sanders is going down as one of the losers for multiple reasons in today's game. First off, the numbers weren't great today for Shedeur Sanders. 3 of 6, 14 yards, nothing else to speak of. Okay, let's dive into it, folks. Partly this is on Shedeur, but I also have to call it that he was pressured constantly throughout the game. 5 sacks. Shedeur was sacked 5 times. He was constantly facing defenders in his face. At times, he spun out of it and was able to extend plays. Other times, he did hold on to the ball a little bit too long and took some big sacks. One of the sacks was like 20-plus yards. That's something you can't do. But he did, didn't have the best hand. We do have to call it like it is. And there was constant pressure in his face. He was definitely not as impressive as he was in his debut. And the one thing that did frustrate me about it, though, was we didn't get to see Shedeur for the final drive of the game. Like, all of a sudden, he was pulled out for Tyler Huntley to come in for one drive. You want to explain that decision, Kevin Stefanski? Shedeur was asked about it post-game if he knew he would be coming out. Well, he said, yeah, I didn't know I was out. Yeah, I didn't know. I was on the bike. I was powering up. I was powering up for that 2-minute drive because that's just the situation that every quarterback dreams for. That's many situations I've been in before, and I thought I was in. So then he told me I wasn't in, and I was like, okay. So it came as a shock to Shedeur. Even Sanders thought he was going in for the final drive. All of us in the watch party thought we were going to see Shedeur. And then I could give you a real full estimate of his game. Okay, Shedeur played poorly up until the final 2 minutes where it mattered. Cleveland was down 17-16. It was a legitimate game-winning drive, and you pull out Sanders? Do you not want to evaluate him in a moment like that? What's the thought process on putting in Huntley for one drive, who, by the way, Huntley completed one pass, and then Cleveland kicked a field goal? What was the purpose of that? Why couldn't we watch Shedeur one more time? I didn't understand it. I wanted to see it to get a full evaluation, and then I could really dig in, tell you what I thought of his performance as a whole. But now, we saw him play the third, a lot of the fourth, and I feel like there's just not enough sample size to go off of. I mean, if you remember, coming into the game, Sanders had a much better performance than Gabriel in preseason. His week 1 debut, he had 2 touchdowns. And if you combine all their performances, Gabriel, because of today, has the better stats. And I have to be honest about that. Gabriel played better than Shedeur did in the game against the Rams on Saturday. But we can't forget about what Sanders did against Carolina. We can't forget that he, in my opinion, has the highest ceiling in the room. And even though I'm cool with Joe starting now, I don't think we should be moving Sanders too far down the depth chart. I think we should have seen him in that last 2-minute drive to really get a full analysis of his game. And we're not going to overreact to one preseason game. I'm not calling it. I'm not throwing in my towel and saying, that's it, Dillon Gabriel's better than Sanders. No. I think Shedeur's the better talent. I'm standing down on that. And only time will tell if I'm right. But not good numbers today for Shedeur, but a lot of factors went into that. Okay, another loser. Welcome back to the loser list, Dustin Hopkins. You may remember he was a loser after Carolina's preseason game for me because he missed a point after touchdown. Well, guess what he did today? Missed a PAT in the preseason once again. It's unfathomable. And now Cleveland is bringing in Andre Schmidt to compete with him. Guess what happened to Hopkins today? He was the kicker the whole game, missed the PAT, and then when Cleveland went on that game-winning field goal drive, they brought in Schmidt for his first kick of the game. He hadn't gotten out there at all. And they said, we'd rather you take this game-winning kick than Hopkins, who's shaky, whose kicks are barely sneaking into the uprights, who's missing PATs in preseason. Let that sink in. Folks, Dustin Hopkins needs to get his act together. Cleveland's going to need a good kicker going forward if they want to be a team that actually wins games and make another playoff push like they did in 2023 with a good defense and Joe Flacco. By the way, I think our defense will be really good this year. We've got a lot of studs. Huntington, one of my winners. We'll hopefully see him out there a lot. All right, final loser is the Browns' offensive line as a whole. So, unfortunately, Ethan Posick got hurt, knee injury. We'll update you on his timeline. Stefanski said they're going to run some tests before they say anything official. Petonio didn't really play. But everyone else that was out there, at least when Shedeur was behind the helm, looked bad. Constant pressure from the Rams' second strings. Not enthralling. And Cleveland has had a good offensive line in years past. It's literally what makes a running back good. It's what makes a rookie quarterback comfortable when they have a good offensive line to play behind. I did not see one out there today. Again, a lot of them were backups, but Cleveland is going to need depth and strength at the offensive line position. Guards, tackles, center, you name it. Cleveland needs it to be a good team in contention. So hopefully we'll have Joel Bitonio and Wyatt Teller healthy for the season. But we're going to have to wait for an injury update on Posick because, again, did not look good. Rams got a lot of pressure past Cleveland's offensive line. Get in the comments again. I want to know one player that you want to see make the roster, okay? So we've seen all the preseason games. Roster cuts are coming up, though. Not everyone can make the 53-man, all right? So tell me, who's someone that's impressed you so far? Like I said, I really like what I've seen from Gage Larvadain, but I want to know your opinions. Get in the comments. Tell me someone you want to see on the roster. Maybe it's someone you didn't think was going to make it originally, but they balled out and proved it. Let me know. We're here to talk about it and give you everything Cleveland Browns all season long. Thanks for tuning in, and go Dog Pound.